be talking about beauty mistakes brides make before their wedding day and how to prevent them. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you are following a good skincare routine and a good hair care routine based on both your skin type and your hair type. And by that I mean, if you have blonde hair, then you want to make sure you're doing masks, you're doing treatments, you're doing a good shampoo and conditioner. If you need a protein or if you need hydration, your stylist hopefully is educating you on this, but you want to make sure that you are doing those things, just because you don't want your hair to be crunchy when it's time for the big day. And by that I mean, a lot of times people aren't doing the correct hair care at home, and crunchy really isn't in right now, so that wouldn't be a good thing to do. It's really about effortless, beautiful looks, and even if you are going for a more sculpted look, you want it to be shiny and healthy. So that's going to be very important. And then as far as your skincare routine, you want to make sure that you are doing something that it's either for if your skin's oily, if your skin's dry, if you have redness, spots, or whatever it is you want to treat. You want to do that. Even if it's facials or whatever, you want to make sure that you are doing that based on your skin type. I always recommend things to the brides that I do, and I make sure that I ask them all these questions and I give them good recommendations based on that. So if you have somebody that already has worked with your skin, or both your hair, your stylist, or an esthetician that you're seeing, just make sure that you get good recommendations from them based on that. Okay, so the next one, I'm going to be looking down because I wrote everything down. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. The next thing is, this one is something that you do not want to do. So you do not want to try any new beauty products. Now I know I just said making sure that your skin care is taken care of, but if you are going to be trying new things and you aren't already doing the skincare routine, then you want to make sure that you're doing it with a good amount of time in between. So every bride knows when their wedding day is, so you want to make sure that you're giving yourself at least 3 to 4 months. And I know that sounds like a lot to try new products, but it's really not, because like if something doesn't work out for you, then it usually takes like about a month for everything to get better. So you have time to get your skin back in track. You don't want to be trying something new a month before. That's just like the worst thing you can do. It's just not going to be good for your skin, and it's not going to be good if it turns out bad and it's just not a product that works for you, because sometimes that happens. And that also includes foundations. It just anything that's going to irritate, just anything, any new products. I mean, maybe you can get away with like powders and things like that, but I mean, I have had reaction to powders too before, and I am pretty dry sensitive. So if you have those type of skins that are like more sensitive and dry, they really do tend to react to a lot of products. So I would definitely stay away from trying something new from that close in advance. And like I said, if you do want to try new things because you're not that happy with your regimen, then do it at least 3 months or 4 months in advance. So yeah, that would be the best thing to do. And then the next thing would be, which is basically similar, the hair. So you don't want to try any new techniques or any new color, any new tones that you haven't worked with, because that's just also can be a disaster. Because let's say you have never been blonde, or you haven't tried blonde, you've been playing with some random blonde pieces, but then all of a sudden your stylist switches up the technique because you asked for it, and then it just doesn't work out for you. Then a lot of times when you're adding bleach, it is going to get dry, so it's not going to be the same. So and even if you use Olaplex and all that stuff, honestly, it's just, you're going to want to hydrate whenever you're using bleach. So if you do go that route and you do choose to want to change, I mean, if you're wanting to change your look, I don't recommend doing it like really close to that. Also, I would also say 4 months. For that one, I would say longer, just because I know that with hair, if it goes wrong, it could take longer to get better. So stay away from doing it that close to the wedding. Like I said, 4 months. 3 months, okay, whatever, but preferably 4 months. If you do, however, really want to change up your color, what has happened in the past for me with brides is that, and you would want to talk to your stylist about this, is like, let's say you have a goal to be a certain look by your wedding day, and you want to be like this really beautiful honey blonde, and right now you're like a caramel. So you are gonna talk to your stylist about how you are gonna get there and what you guys are gonna be using to keep your hair healthy, so that when you do get there, your hair isn't like in a bad state, like, you know, whether it's dry or whatever. So if you communicate with your stylist, then, and you have a good relationship, and honestly, if you have a good stylist, they should tell you this. So if you do have a goal, just talk to your stylist about it, work together. And by that I mean take care of it at home. Don't just say you're going to do it and then not do it, because it's really important for your hair to be healthy on your big day, as well as your skin. So if you you know, do your part and put you know, and do all the things that you should be doing anyway, then that would actually be helpful for your hair and skin to look nice. The next one that I'm gonna do is one that I at first was kind of like, I've always felt like consultations were something that you want to do, but I was pretty confident with everything, and I thank God I've never had anybody where they're like, I hate this, when they didn't have a consultation. So everything has always worked out, but I do definitely recommend a consultation, just because if you sometimes also too, you might not be sure if you want to wear your hair up or down, or if you want to do a more natural or dramatic eye or whatever. So you are going to want to maybe try 2 different looks. Sometimes the bride really wants to see the whole thing together first. Maybe she has you have a look in mind. Sorry, I was just thinking, but maybe you have a look in mind, and then you you know, you think it's gonna look a certain way, because I mean, that happens to me sometimes too. I think something's gonna, like when you try on certain clothes and you think it's gonna look really cute, and you like buy it all, and you're just like, yeah, this is gonna be good with this and this, and then it just doesn't work out. Well, this is like the same thing. So you want to make sure that you go and you have the consultation and you do the hair and makeup, because sometimes you think it's gonna come out a certain way, and then it's just not what you thought it was gonna be. And not that the hair and the makeup weren't good, it just wasn't what you were going for or what you thought you were going for, because a lot of times we don't know, you know, we need to see it. So you want to make sure that consultation is important. Also, things that you want to bring to your consultation is pictures. I actually even go as far as asking them for pictures of like their bridesmaids dresses, how they're gonna wear their hair, how the flower colors, the vibe they're going, what you're open to, what you don't want. A lot of times I always ask brides, like, what do you not want? What do you for sure don't want to see? And that always helps me to stay away from that. And it really also helps me to kind of give the bride more of what they want. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. You know, you're bringing those pictures for your stylist, because that would really help them out. Another thing that you want to do in consultations is I always make sure that they tell me the times, as far as like what time the wedding is gonna start, and what time they need to be already ready and done. Because if that's not asked, then you're not gonna know how much time you have, you know. So that's very important to know the time. So just make sure you get as much information about your wedding as you can as possible, because that's going to be very very helpful for your stylist and makeup artist to be able to do a better job. A question that I get asked all the time also is about hair. Should I wash my hair the day before? And my answer to that is no. No, wait. It's yes. I dry eyes. Why did I say that? Okay, so the next question I get asked all the time is, should I wash my hair? And the answer to that is yes. So it used to be back in the day where you wouldn't wash it. I don't know if it's still a thing, but for me it's not, just because I actually feel like there's so many products now in the market that you can get grip with or just do whatever. I mean, there's so many products. There's dry shampoo, there's texture powders, there's so many things that there's no need for somebody to come with their hair oily. And honestly, sometimes if you there's been times that I'll like tell them that maybe, or like I don't tell them not to wash it, but they kind of like, well, I don't want to wash it. And I mean, you don't want to be like, wash it. So you know, I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. But because, you know, I can figure it out, but the oils are there, and sometimes people are oily enough where even the dry shampoo is just not gonna work, and it's not their fault. It's really just because they aren't using the right shampoos and conditioners at home. So I really recommend for you to wash your hair, unless your stylist tells you otherwise. Then that means that they have a way to go about it. I, however, say wash it. Just do it. Okay, and then the last thing is about the dress. So this is like totally not like a beauty thing, but I feel like it's an overall look one. And I did ask my mom this question, since she has been working in alterations, for specializing in alterations for weddings, and she's been doing it for years. I think like what, 20 years, longer maybe, I don't know. But she I asked her two things that she would tell brides, and that is gonna be, she recommends, and they usually recommend where she works, to do an appointment for a fitting 6 weeks before the wedding, and they usually have them come back 2 weeks before to pick it up and do the final fitting. And the reason why is just because I mean, I really don't know exactly why, but I'm assuming it's because of the weight. Like, you want to make sure you stay the same, because I mean, you know, you don't want your dress to be all tight or loose. So I'm thinking that's the reason why. So just she said the closer it is, actually it's better, as long as it's not anything before 2 weeks. So like that they have time to do any final fittings and stuff like that. And then also another one was the things to bring to your fitting appointment is your undergarments, whatever undergarments you're going to be wearing, as well as your shoes, just to make sure that they get the best results. So I guess that's it for now. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I really wanted to make sure that I did a video talking about this, since wedding season is actually around the corner. I know it kind of starts late spring. Well, weddings are happening all the time, but I feel like the end of March is when they really start kicking in and coming in. So I really and then you have June, July, and August, and September and October. So I feel like this is actually a really good video for you to watch right now. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful. I'm already thinking about the summer. Well, I hope this was helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos, as well as follow me on Instagram. I am Style by Lucy. I have 2 accounts. I have a personal one and my business one, and it's Style by Lucy __ and then Style by Lucy S. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.